Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, Dr. Haider Shah. On behalf of Kalwas, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. Today we have another very interesting session, and I'm really honored to welcome and introduce our distinguished guest speaker who is going to talk about how can you cultivate a healthy and productive supervisor-student relationship. In this session, we will explore the dynamics and the strategies that foster a positive and effective collaboration between supervisors and students. We will discuss the key insights and practical tips that will enhance your academic journey and your research outcomes. So, stay tuned because an amazing stuff are coming ahead in this session because we have an expert with us in today's this session. So before we start, I would like to thank Kalwas for arranging such enlightenment sessions for their support and providing us such a wonderful platform. The aim of Kalwas is to give you the opportunity to connect and interact with world-renowned speakers, academic leaders, teachers, authors, researchers, experts, professionals, and businessmen to learn from their experiences, recommendations, and suggestions which will create an impact and will enable you to learn and develop yourself in order to grow and transform individually as well as to contribute to the world in a positive way. As our slogan is come, learn, and share knowledge. So today we have a special person as guest, a very dear friend of mine, a man with a golden heart and always ready to help and support younger researchers, students, and journal, the people at journal. He is a great human being, and we always see him while contributing to the world in different ways. So let me introduce him formally for those who are joining for the first time. He is a senior lecturer at the School of Hospitality Tourism Events, Associate Director for Information Management Documentation at Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism, Taylor's University, Malaysia. His doctorate is from the Taylor's University in Hospitality and Tourism with research on economic impact of business events in Malaysia. He has two postgraduate degree specialties, professional masters in hospitality management, international tourism from University of Toulouse, France, and other in business administration, MBA marketing from Hamdard University, Pakistan. His research area include economic impact, economic modeling, MICE, medical tourism, behavioral studies. He has worked on consultancy and research projects at the national and international level and authored numerous publications, including articles and book chapters. Along with that, he is an active member of several national and international association, conferences, and journals. And he is also serving as an associate editor for Asia Pacific Journal Innovation in Hospitality and Tourism. Recently, he has offered webinars, guest speeches for universities in Philippines, India, Japan, Indonesia, China, Australia, and Pakistan. Last but not the least, he's a wonderful speaker, author, teacher, researcher, and above everything, a great human being. So please help me in welcoming once again our guest, Dr. Jeetesh Kumar. Welcome to the Calvas platform once again, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Haider Shah. Thank you so much, brother, for inviting me once again to this beautiful platform. And as mentioned earlier, it's always my pleasure to share my little knowledge. And I will be definitely humble to help in any way to our beloved students, researcher, early career, or to collaborate with you all. Actually, it's always an honor. You have already introduced me in a very beautiful way. It was a long bio. I don't know. uh, there are so many other things also I wanted to include, but it's fine actually because my profile is available online. And recently also I have joined event management journal. It's a Q1 SSCI journal as a regional editor for Asia Pacific. So
Wonderful. Wonderful.
later, surely I will be sharing different avenues for our researcher where they can get engaged, where they can find me in terms of research collaboration, in terms of assistance, in terms of any sort of support. Wherever I can do, it will be my it's a pleasure in any way, and especially for Pakistan, which is my homeland. So if I can be helpful to anyone from Pakistan, it's like more than enough, definitely. So thank you so much. And the topic which you have chosen, it's very interesting. And I didn't prepare anything, but I will try my best to share as per my experience because I have graduated couple of PhD students, and I'm supervising 11 PhD students under my main supervision currently at the different
Wonderful.
stages. So we will go with the flow, please.
Yes, sure, sure. Thank you so much once again for accepting our invitation. And yeah, sure, because we had your previous profile, but now it has been uh, improved a lot with the passage of time. You are doing multiple things simultaneously, and you are engaged with wonderful different organization. And recently, you have joined this journal, which is a great thing and great news. And congratulations for such a wonderful advancement in your career. We feel really proud of you. The way you are doing is fantastic. And since you are doing a wonderful job, not only as the teaching, but also research activities, and particularly guiding the PhD students, 11 PhD students simultaneously with the coursework, is really a fabulous job you are doing. Congratulations on that. And I know that since it was a busy day you had at your university, and now you are here with us in the session, so definitely you got a very little time to see even the questions. But I'm sure that since you have a wonderful experiences, versatile experiences, so you will better answer these things in a very normal way. So I'm very super excited to listen to your wonderful experiences and recommendations. And to the audience, that please, in this session we will be having only question answer session. And if you have any question, you can write in comment section. I am going to start with the question which we have already received through email. So we would like to start with the first question. So Dr. Siddisha, my first question to you is one of our faculty member, they want to ask regarding your practices, your supervisory practices. That the question is, would you like to share your supervisory practices, particularly with new students? How do you arrange the schedule and course of action? What things you follow, and how do you start your new PhD student journey? Yes, please.
Thank you so much. And starting whenever we get the PhD student, we get a confirmation from our CHTR, the department who get enroll the students and so on. So we have already, I mean, before meeting the students physically or virtually, we have already their profile. Who are they? Where are they from? What is their background, academic, and as well as if they have any experience in terms of research or from industry. So this is good to know before we meet the student. So at least we have a different mindset actually, or the people are different, students are different, five fingers are not equal. Some students have some knowledge because if they have graduated uh, masters recently, and that masters was by research or masters by taught courses actually. So by research means the person have already some idea what is the research. At least I don't need to go up to that level. And second thing, that all the enrolled students have to go for a couple of courses, basic research courses, advanced research courses, and so on. So when I call the student for the very first meeting, I prepare myself also, that because every meeting is different with every student. So some students are okay and they are very casual. I go quite slow with them. Frequency of meeting, it depends on the student to student. There's not such solid, but I have a practice that I must check on them every month. But sometimes some students, when we start meeting them, or like first time probably weekly, or twice a month, sometimes it's all of a sudden, they have some ambiguities or anything. So we are quite okay and available on WhatsApp as well as emails. Also, there is always a request to my university that give me a 1 day free, means no teaching. So either it can be Monday, either it can be a Friday. So I always request for it, and thanks God until now it was approved. So that 1 day I always try my best to focus on either my research, either all the PhD students whoever have any ambiguity. I plan all the meetings on that day, so it doesn't disturb my teaching, doesn't disturb other things. Otherwise it's really a mess. And if I call the student for a meeting, and I won't be mentally available, mentally prepared. So we both won't have a win-win situation. So it's just a management of time. So new students probably frequency is slightly higher when the because within 12 months or within 11 to 12 months since they have joined, they have to pass the proposal defense, which is a very first stage in my university for PhD student. So whenever there is a 12 months from the university, I set the very first meeting is a casual. I take them for a coffee even. We don't meet in the office or anywhere. We have some casual discussion, what they want, what is their plan, why they have joined PhD program. And also during their admission they have submitted some proposal. So I have already, that proposal is very rough, but I always interview them that is it you who wrote the proposal or someone helped you? Because proposal is always very rough proposal.
True.
So we figure out, we polish it, and most of the time in second or third meeting we change the title, change the topic, change the field, everything. I want to know what is the plan of the student, because if there is a no problem, because PhD is a we can say, if someone wants to conduct a research to solve a problem, if there is no problem, no need to conduct a research. So i
True.
need to I need to understand the person's mentality, which background he is from, what exactly are his ideas. So accordingly, we twist and we come up with some plan. This can be a question, and we twist the question with a research purpose, research objective, and accordingly. So I go with the very slow with the first, second, third meetings, but whenever there is a time, I twist them and give them some time, few months, go and read as much as you can. We have some framework, we can say matrix prepared in Excel file, which I share with my new students. Read and give me this matrix, how many article you have read in last 1 week or 15 days. Give me in a summarized version. So in that way we have a check and balance also, that making sure that when you are meeting me after 15 days, you have some status, you have some you can show some efforts that what you have done. So in that way, and also timeline, we plan the timeline in the first or second meeting, what exactly the milestone you have to achieve. Every month there is a milestone. So when the students submit the proposal for the proposal defense, they have to go with the introduction, literature review, methodology, and expected findings. And if it's a quantitative research, survey has to be ready. So I twist them, make sure that literature review is covered as much as you can before the proposal defense. And if when they go for the literature, they check the different theories, they come up with a theoretical model, conceptual framework, define different construct and variables. So there is always an avenue for examiners. As an examiner, our job is to find out what is new, what is novelty, what is lacking. We can't accept anything as a perfect. No. So of course, examiner does that. So there are always avenues which student alter the proposal after the proposal defense and so on. There are so many things actually. I hope I have answered your question, and because if you allow me to talk, I will be keep on going and going.
Really, I enjoyed your answer, the way you just covered so many wonderful recommendations and tips for our faculty. I think that's the wonderful that you have said that from the very beginning you are involved with the student, and most importantly, the way you give example that you take your student to the coffee and then you informally discuss the topic and reason behind doing the PhD and asking for the proposal, that whether that student has prepared or somebody else helped them. Actually, you are gaining the knowledge regarding the purpose, the aim behind doing PhD, and how the student could be motivated for future of research work, because that's what we need to dig out the basic question. why they want to do want to pursue a PhD. What is the source of motivation behind doing that thing? And I love the way you talk about the different metrics you have set in your Excel sheet. I think that is very important to gauge and to track the progress, because we have something tangible to claim on that whether we have progressed or not. I think these are the wonderful tips you have mentioned, and talking about the literature, and if the quantitative methodology, then the having the survey for that purpose, whether they have developed or not. All these things are wonderful suggestions, and this is what we had expected, that you will give us the wonderful recommendation. So very nicely you have addressed the first question. And now let's move towards the second question, which is again very important one. And that is somehow related to your, which you have already talked about, but now you will give a more explanation to it. The question is, do you ask your students to come up with their research proposal, or you give them topic by yourself? Because at the start of the doing a proposal, sometimes students might not having the clear idea of the clear novelty, bridging the gap, which is most important thing for us. But as an expert, sometimes we give them the clue, or giving them direction to go that area. So what is your strategy when you start with the new work with the new student? Do you suggest your own topic to them, or they come up with their own research proposal? Yes, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Heather. A beautiful question. So, once again, actually, I don't have any strategy for that. It depends, actually, but because students are different in nature, okay, and some students comes with scholarship by university. Some students comes with self funding. Some students join our project like FRGS, national level government projects, actually. So if the student is joining that project, we are hiring the student under our projects, actually. They cannot go far away from the actual topic or the area of our research. So of course we have to engage them under the same topic, but some part of, like, under one of my project we have a three student, and that's a national level project. So three students are working. They are my research assistant while they are working on their PhD. So that's the one where we give them some idea that this can be your research area, and now go explore and come up with some idea, come up with some furnished idea. Then we sit and then we plan accordingly. Definitely project is much different from their thesis. Project is one, but students are three PhDs are outcome of that project. So one thing, but not all the students we give them, or I give them any idea. That is the reason I answered earlier. I take them for a casual discussion, because it's always good, because it's a PhD student. It's not a degree undergraduate or even a master's student, actually. Their mentality, their mindset, their belief are slightly different, actually. So I don't want them to treat me as a teacher, actually, as a colleague, because there is always an avenue of learning. Okay, three of my PhD students are almost 10 to 15 years elder to me. So it also happens, actually. But in terms of research, probably I'm elder to them. So in terms of experience of research, that's the reason they are my supervisor. I'm their supervisor. Directly I don't give any title, any topic, any area. We just have some casual discussion. What is their background, what they have seen, any problem in their studies, in their if they are coming from industry, if they have any problem. Don't you think it can be a one research area? Because number of students in trailers comes for PhD comes from China. Okay, practically physically we didn't visit the entire China. Every part of China is different in terms of geographical, in terms of different characteristics, in terms of tourist attractiveness, in terms of impacts, etc., etc. So we trigger the point and ask them to go and dig. Next week, come up with something. Definitely, it is not polished, but if I see they have already searched, they have touched, they have given me even a 40 to 50% what I was expecting. Let's go ahead. and then we try to polish them. Sometime I search some related article and go and read two, three, four article. If you go and read, your idea, your framework will be ready. So it also happens.
Wow,
So,
wonderful.
thank you.
That's wonderful answer to this. I think that is the good strategy as well. And thank you for highlighting and explaining the role of the project. That even if somebody is working on a project, so there are simultaneously two or three students who are working on the same project, and that is how somehow different from their PhD work even. So there's a difference, and they have a limitation to go outside of the boundaries of the project title as well. So it depends on it. Thank you. What a nice answer you have given. So it depends actually with which nature the students is coming, whether from the project side, from the so own funding, which kind of funding, etc. Again, it goes back to the same which we discussed, that the source of motivation for doing a PhD is a very important aspect in that as well. And now we have another very interesting question, and this is mostly happens with our PhD student, because publication is most important thing in the PhD, because we say that let the world recognize your work first, then we will recognize it, because it is the recognition of your work when you publish it, and particularly in high impact journal. So it is kind of public the recognition. So now another question is related to the same publication matter, but now the faculty member, they want to ask that when your students face rejection in their publication, what do you do in terms of motivation and guidance? I know it's very difficult to accept it with a very heavy heart when you have worked a lot and the paper is rejected, but we have to learn from it and we have to move on. But how do you take this journey, and how do you take your student in that perspective? Because since the students are beginner, they are not that have great confidence and the what you call it kind of faith. So how do you play your positive role in that as being supervisor? Yes, please.
See, rejection of a paper from a particular journal is our everyday life routine actually. And almost every week we have some kind of either rejection, either major
Yes.
reviews, either acceptance. And as mentioned, as a reviewer, as an examiner, we don't accept that this is perfect, no changes required. We same time as a supervisor, we are teacher, we are reviewer, we are examiner, because we are also reviewing the papers. We are also upgrading our knowledge on everyday basis.
Yes.
So to in terms of how we motivate or support the student, the rejection is a part of research journey. Okay. So definitely it will come. Even I show them, even I have personally shown the emails which I have received in terms of rejection. But I got rejection from Q3, and ultimately I published that paper with a Q1. So rejection is always a good, you know. So criticism always happens, but it depends on you that how do you take. So criticism is always good. Rejection is a good thing actually, and something is happening. At least it's moving on, because sometimes we submit the paper for 6 months, it's stuck there. I don't know what to do, and that's the reason. So actually, your question, I would like to add on some more beside this rejection. Especially the PhD student doesn't have a patience. They have submitted, and within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, doctor, can I just withdraw the paper and submit to somewhere else? Because they are not doing anything. They are not rejecting my paper. They are not sending for review. I said they don't have only this paper. They don't have only this job. Like you are not only my student, and my job is not only supervision. So they are also academicians and researcher like us, and they have thousands of jobs, and this is all honorary basis. There's no money involved. So what type of motivation we have? But we are a part of this journey. As a reviewer, we are not getting anything. We If we are editorial board member, regional editor, this is all on honorary basis actually. There's no money. So have to share some stories have to share some personal experience. That rejection is good, and sometime we sub. My practice, I can share right now. My practice is always to submit to Q1. I know the paper will be rejected. I know, but that is a platform where I get the free suggestions. How can I improve my paper? So, because Q1 journals, or we can say the high impact journal, SCI journal, definitely we know it will be desk rejected. Okay, but they don't send thank you, paper is not up to the quality. They come up with a couple of comments where exactly you can improvise. So then we take one step back. I work with my PhD students also, and try to improvise, and then we submit to the journal. But I would like to add on here that just don't focus only on journal publications. Okay, different types of publication. It can be a book chapter, it can be a conference proceeding, it can be going and presenting at any of the conference. I always invite all of my students, whoever is up to that level. If they have just started, of course they are not eligible even. But if they are in a second year, I try to find a number of conferences, and wherever I can support and fund them, or if it's a free, wonderful. We create different avenues also. We have a different context. So where they can just present the conference. So they will get a criticism and some ideas also, because until they go and present, only I am as a supervisor checking their work, or co-supervisor is checking their work. We want the reviewer or third eye to check their work also. Okay, and then they come and share those stories and those ideas. It's up to us, we accept or not. Okay. But network buildings, it's rather than spoon feed them, give them a way, go and find out. Okay, go and find out, give me four option, I will choose, then we can go further, rather than I give you the one option even. That is like killing their creativity even. So that's the way how we share our experience, and so far is good.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. And I'm enjoying the way you are giving answer. I think these are very wonderful insights you are giving about, and I like the way you just talked about that target for the Q1. If they even desk reject, they will give couple of reasons, and that reasons are very important for us, and you get it for free. I like your phrase that you are getting for free the comments regarding your paper. One of my paper students' paper got rejected from a very high impact journal, and I love the way they talked about the methodology section, that what were lacking in the methodology section. I really enjoyed their comments on that, because they are looking at something from our perspective, but once you see once you send it to somebody else, as you referred as well, that from the third eye you come to know about your work, that what things can improve your work even. So that is the real and these are the different tips which we are looking forward, and that's the purpose of this session, that you share your tips with the audience from around the globe, and they learn from it. And if you see, a lot of question is from the faculty side. Why? Because they want to groom students properly, they want to guide a student properly. So I think these are the real question and hurdles people are facing, and thank you for sharing your wonderful tips and strategies. And now let's move to the another important question. And there are two kinds of questions related to this question. First one, they want to ask that how do you evaluate the progress of your PhD student? So once you answer it, then I will give you the part B of the same question, which is somehow related to it. So your opinion on that? Yes, please. How do you track the progress of your PhD student apart from publication? Yes.
Publication is not checking the progress of the PhD student. Okay, publication is like a requirement. Okay,
Yeah.
our university have a publication requirement for PhD student to graduate. Okay, they have a one publication. I made it three publication for them. Okay, or
Wow.
at least two publication, one conference proceeding, one chapter. So I help them to find the avenue. There are number of journals, there are number of special issues, there are number of books. Even we are editing, we are a part of number of channels. Okay, so we try to find where exactly they can. It's not like we are giving them a easy way, but we try to support them in any way. Okay, one thing regarding your question regarding the progress, we every semester, at the end of the semester, the students are required to submit a progress report to CSTR, that is the Center for Higher Education by Research. Okay, so that is an online system where every student have to submit without any negligence. They have to submit. If they can't submit, they will get some alerts actually, and twice if they can't submit, they will be terminated from the system. So if there is a delay of submission, I get notification, I remind them. So normally we know when it is. I have set in my calendar that notification will go from my side to the all the students also, that they have to prepare their progress report where they submit the progress, and supervisor have to evaluate for every semester. Then it will be auto transferred to the CSTR, Center for Higher Education by Research. And then the CRM, the particular department is like keeping a check and balance and so on. Before graduation and before like at the end of the semester, all the documents for each student have been collected and they have submitted. And when we receive the progress report, as a supervisor we have to evaluate. So either it is satisfactory, either it is not satisfactory. So normally it's good, better, satisfactory. If satisfactory, normally we know some students are doing well, some students are quite hard, they don't follow my instruction, they don't meet me often. And whatever I say, still after meeting 3 months, is still the same. Those lazy excuses, I got here, I got sick, I got family issue, I got this, I was busy with my job. So there is no progress actually, unsatisfactory. And if you receive two unsatisfactory from supervisor, you will be terminated from the system. Means no more PhD. Thank you.
Oh,
So the rules are very rigid, and everyone is alert for it. If you got the first unsatisfactory, you got warning one. Second, thank you. Whatever stage you are. So it is a supervisor's job also to make sure that the student have a progress, because I don't want that my student is terminated at year 2 after putting that much of efforts, time, and so on. So I make sure that they are in order. If they are not, uh, what you call that, sincere to their work, within first 6 months we can identify who are they. I don't know, they joined the PhD, but they are full-time staff working and they cannot focus. I call them, let's go for coffee once more. So when I call them second time, third time coffee, they know what exactly it is going to be. Okay, if I can pay a few dollar for coffee, means I'm going to twist it nicely. So I have to recover that back also. So if they are not sincere, then it's better to get rid of, because you are wasting our time as well as your money, your time, your efforts, and so on. So
true.
make the slot empty so I can recruit new PhD.
Yeah, very nice.
And this is from the university wise what is set to check the progress of a student. From my personal side, as mentioned, I set some milestone. First 10 months have to submit the proposal defense. By 18 months, 18 to 20 months, they have to submit a first draft to the paper, draft of a paper or a chapter or anything. And then the third year, they have to go for once the data collection, analysis, everything are done, when they have some expected findings ready, start preparing the final paper with full findings, empirical paper. So I make sure that before they go for final viva, they have at least two papers, not published, but at least in the system, but more than under review. Because under review will be, it's like a, a probability of 50-50. Okay. It can be it passed the desk rejection, but it can be rejected by two or three reviewers, then it's gone. So make sure that it's a second version, revised version is submitted before they submit the final thesis for Viva. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Thank you very much for answering in so detail. Thank you. I think these are the wonderful suggestion for that. And now the second part of it, that if the result is not satisfactory from your side at personal level, then how do you devise your strategy and then to evaluate the students' progress? So what do you do in that progress? Let me just read the question. They want to ask that when the progress is not up to the your standard, then how do you change your strategy to elevate the students' progress? Yes.
First, I try to be nice once, twice, thrice. But if I lose my patience, then I just write a nice email by informing CHTR and program directors, the concerned parties, that this student is not responding to me at all. Because this is again, I assure that this is not undergraduate level. If you have joined the PhD program, you are mature enough. You should know. Okay, it is like 3 years. Within 3 years, you can graduate. But if you want to prolong for 6-7 years, actually, it won't worth. Okay, you are like wasting time and efforts and money. So we try to, I mean, I don't mean that at first I'm nice and then later I'm not nice, but we try to be polite, but then we try to bring the different department, different parties. We don't have a much time actually. Within a 4 to 5 months, we have another progress report due. So unsatisfactory, unsatisfactory, thank you, thank you. So there is no more several coffee slots actually. So the rule is
Very
very
nice.
simple. In the first meeting, second meeting, we make our rules actually that these are the things, and you have to follow the instructions. You have to follow the those rules and regulations which are set by CHTR, by the university, and by your supervisor. If you can't follow, then there will be a problem and hurdle.
Yes, very nice. Thank you very much. I think we are enjoying the way you are giving answer, but since we have the time limitation, and so one last question, which is very important, and they want to ask regarding that: how do you achieve the balance? So, how do you manage and achieve the balance between your regular teaching work and your supervision, since you are supervising 11 students, which is quite a challenging job, I would say. So, what are the different tips you would like to share with our particularly a new faculty to manage and to have a balanced life? Yes, please.
It was very very hard, but now we are used to. It's 11:10 p.m. in Malaysia, and I'm with you guys. So we are working after office hours for several things, because supervision is and teaching is not the only our job. And second, as mentioned, we request to our department to give us particular free day or 2 days free, so teaching load can go on a 1, 2, or 3 days as much as we can. Okay, we don't have a much teaching load also, because it like every lecturer in my school doesn't have a similar teaching load. Every staff in my school doesn't have a similar number of PhD students to supervise. So we have a kind of balanced work. Okay, and students are at the different stages actually. Some students have just recently joined. Okay, some students have joined last year. Some students are in the last year. So my two students are going for a Viva next month. I just received their date. So I'm not meeting them. It's already last 4 months I didn't meet. We are communicating through WhatsApp what exactly is happening, because they have submitted two papers. Our few papers are under review. Some papers have received acceptance. So it's like a casual discussion is going on. And I have received the date today only. So now, tomorrow, or this week, I will call them to come up with their final PPT for presentation. So I will have some one or two rehearsal with them. That's But those who have just joined, I try my best to meet them during my those days where I don't have a teaching. But sometime when it's over, like quite full, we have to meet them over the weekend also. Sometimes we have to sacrifice. But this is a fruitful. We all are doing for each another. So that's the only way how
Wonderful.
to manage the things. Thank you.
Yes, very nice, and very nicely you have quoted your own self that it's 11, almost 11:15 in the Malaysia, and since you are doing session with us, and this is how we contribute. This is how sometimes we sacrifice our personal time in order to contribute, in order to share our knowledge and to guide the people, because we believe in a philosophy of together we grow, and sharing is caring actually. And this is how little drops make an ocean. I believe in that philosophy that we are just putting our drop in the ocean, and which will make the difference, and which is making the difference. So really, it's difficult to achieve 100% work-life balance, but sometimes we have to manage in order to not to be affected by the other two. And same is true for you. And very nicely you have talked about that. How do you get the relaxation? I would say from your university, in terms of when you are guiding the supervising the students, at the same time you are teaching work and all these things. And this is how actually that our university supports us in different ways. So thank you very much once again, Dr. Jeetesh Kumar. The way you are answered, every question was so great. Everything was coming out so naturally from you, and it was just like it was apparent from your tone, from your body language, that these are the real experiences of your life, which you have gone through and which you are going through right now. So wonderful strategies you are following, and thank you for sharing your strategies with our audience from around the globe to learn it and to apply it, because these are very beneficial tips. I liked the way you just mentioned that how informally you talk to your PhD students, and just try to understand their perspective and their level of understanding to take it to the next level. And the way you motivate them after rejection, etc. Really, I enjoyed it, and thank you for being so great teacher and great mentor. Really, I appreciate your efforts towards the your field. Uh, Now, at the end of the session, Dr. Jeetesh Kumar, we ask our guests regarding their message to the world. So, what would be your message this time for our audience, for around the globe? They want to listen to your new message. So, what is your message to the world as a speaker, author, teacher, researcher, trainer, learner, educator, and professional? Yes, please.
It's very hard actually. There are so many things which we can offer in terms of message. Uh, but for early career researcher, or especially those PhD scholars, actually messages: publish as much as you can, but don't compromise with the quality. Okay,
Wow.
and stay away from those paid journals. Okay, just go for even a normal local national level journal. Just try to publish. Okay, we cannot run away from research work. Okay, and try to find avenues with your supervisors. There are journals, there are book chapters, there are so many conferences. If you follow us on social media, we used to post actually. Okay, like I'm taking my 5 students along with me to France this November to attend a conference. Okay, we found some way to support them. Okay, that's our own conference, Asia Euro conference, 8th Asia Euro conference. I will be sharing some details with you, Dr. Haider, shortly, tomorrow morning probably. So you can share in your circle. I'm looking after the scientific part of the conference. So we found actually some students we can't support. Never mind. Submit. We will present, because as a supervisor also we have a job. So supervise for that was the message for students. Now supervisors, PhD students are not a normal students actually. They are a research scholar. There's not much age difference, or probably they are elder to you even. So
Very true.
try to be humble and try to learn and share and grow together. Okay. And rather than throwing the work, actually, it's better to sit and have some casual discussion. We don't know what exactly is going on in their life. Some students used to talk with me, okay, I got this problem issue. Some one of the student got divorced all of a sudden during their PhD. Now I can well, I don't know much how is the status, but we can feel that the stress level, the mental distress actually. So I recommended her to defer the semester, lock your PhD for 6 months, forget, and just go and settle down first. Settle your personal, private life first, because it's a waste actually. You won't be mentally available. Okay. Some students have a financial issues also. Some students have like lots of personal matters and so on. If you are starting a PhD, talk to your family, make sure that your financial background is good, or you have some funding for next 3 to 4 years. Don't leave the thing in between. Okay, make sure if you are married, if you have a kids, make sure that your partner, your families are supportive. Have some bond with them. Please don't disturb me for next 3 years. I have seen, I even couple of months back I met two PhD students from Pakistan. I mean, two staff from Pakistan. Don't ask me the university, don't ask me the name. Surely you know, because world is very small. They came here
Yes.
for PhD, and I liked actually, because both are female. Their husband came along and they started. So they are here for next 3 years. So it's good actually. At least their family is supportive actually, and they are on a self funding. So of course we are here. However, we can try our best to help them, support them. But these all those matters, especially private, personal, marriage, and all those things, financial matters have to be sorted before you start your PhD. If you have all those things ding dong in between, don't think about PhD.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will suffer in between, and your supervisor will also suffer. So thank you.
Thank you very much. What a wonderful message you have given. And I think you have not only given a message, you have guided the people that before taking such a responsible decision regarding the PhD, they should not only consider their intellectual abilities of as a researcher, but also consider their situational factors, the family, and the other contextual factors, which are very important, and they should not ignore it at their start of the decision. Very nice message this time you have given, Dr. Jeetesh Kumar. Very different from the previous one as well. Thank you very much. And to the audience, that Dr. Jeetesh Kumar has answered in a wonderful way and explained in a powerful manner. I hope that would help you and develop your understanding regarding how to take this decision of research journey, particularly the PhD, as a supervisor or as a student. So that's all we have time for today. And thank you once again, Dr. Jeetesh Kumar. And I would like to thank our audience who joined us. If you have any additional question about information shared today, please email us or connect to the guest speaker directly through his email or social media account. He is very much visible and active on Facebook as well as on LinkedIn. You can approach him. He is very generous and always ready to help the people. Mostly, he usually share his upcoming project. He recently completed his book with Emerald, and he shared on the LinkedIn and Facebook as well. So you can contact with him without any hesitation. He's very generous and always ready to help the people. So thank you all for your support and liking our session. Stay tuned as many sessions are on the way. Please do not miss any session. Until next session, take care of yourself. Bye bye.